Stand by. Rolling and action.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your background?
Yeah, so my name is Robert O'Connell. I'm from Princeton, New Jersey. I'm a political science major and I have a degree in my master's in communication and business leadership from High Point University.
What is the organization you work with and what do they do?
So I'm vice president of Tesla, and we create electric cars for the world, and we are the largest, most profitable car company on the planet.
Why did you decide to work with this organization?
So I decided to work for Tesla because essentially it was the CEO, who is Elon Musk, and I think he's a genius, and I would consider him on par with Thomas Edison or Leonardo da Vinci's changing the world. And I want to be part of that, and I wanted to do anything I could to help in his efforts to make the world a better place, reduce carbon emissions, and make electric cars more affordable and more able to be purchased all over the planet.
What do you feel is the most important thing for viewers to know about your organization?
So I would say that the most important thing that people should know is how people understand, electric car companies are more green, but they don't understand how. And essentially, the basic level of it is there's more cars in America than more people, which you have 330 million Americans, and they all use gas. Gas is pollutive. It has a lot of carbon emissions. And if you all have electric cars, they all have the same power source, and there's no emissions. You can control the power source. So it could be fission. We have fission nuclear reactions. We could do fusion in the future. We can have solar or wind, and that could save the world and reduce climate change in the future. And that's extremely important.
Well, thank you for talking to us today.
Thanks for having me.
Coach?
I feel like you kind of had one of the same problems I did. Is like me, I just feel like there's so much information that I want to tell the person who's interviewing me, and I get caught up because I'm like, okay, I gotta say this, I gotta say this. So maybe just taking a
little
step
less
back and just breathing and going more with the flow of things. And honestly, something that I would critique that I've noticed with everybody is me, as an interviewer, I'm just reading a script. I feel like it would help the interviewee and me, that we could practice it being more of a flowed conversation, me introduce myself, and, just respond to what he's saying to me would help it flow a little more, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think you did really good.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to reiterate a couple things that she said. I think you know the information. Part of the challenge for you as a spokesperson is to have it organized ahead of time so that you know point 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And it's so organized and ingrained and you're so familiar with it that you don't have to think about moving from one point to another. So even though I think you knew the points, you didn't have a structure or a progression to go through. So as you move forward, you need to think about, I start here, I go here, and that's it. Those are my points. So you were getting to them, but you didn't smoothly transition between the points.
I was making more of a ramble than an interview.
Yeah, because it's obvious you know the information. I understand that you know what you're talking about. It's just I feel like because I do the same thing. There's so much I want to talk about that I just blurt it all out at once.
Was it long? Was that long comparatively?
No, it wasn't that it was
okay.
long. Is you weren't as specific. Like I saw your first assignment, you had very specific information, and the sentences had a good structure. You were kind of making the words up as you went along, and so they weren't as specific and as coherent.
Okay.
Okay? So you just need to get to the point where this is so much in your head, you actually can say it over and over again in almost exactly the same way, but spontaneously.
Okay.
Okay? A couple things about posture. You're leaning forward a little bit, and so here's the issue with that when you're in a talent situation, which is keeping yourself straight is very important because as you lean, it changes the framing. So that means that your head is moving back and forth in the frame as you move forward or move backward. So even though it's a little less natural, move yourself back a little bit.
Yeah, just this, sluggish or something, but that's fine.
In other words, don't lean all the way back, but just be a little bit more, that's more natural.
Okay.
Okay? And so once I adjust to that, remember, we're only seeing about this much of you.
Okay.
And so that allows you to kind of concentrate on your gestures and your posture, and you stay fairly consistent. Okay?
Okay.
Normally, I'll be honest, we would not do it in a chair like this. In the studio, we would have had a straight back chair for that reason. All right, let's do it again. Stand by. Action.
Tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your background?
My name is Robert O'Connell. I'm from Princeton, New Jersey. I went to High Point University. I have a political science major there, and I also have a master's in business leadership and communications.
What is your organization that you work with, and what do they do?
I am vice president of Tesla, and we are a large electric car company based in California, and we are right now the most profitable car company on the planet.
What made you decide to work with this organization?
The reason why I joined Tesla was simple for me. I wanted to work with Elon Musk, who's their CEO. I thought he's a genius, and I wanted to be part of what he was doing, which is making the world a better place and building the best cars that you could buy, and expanding his idea of how America should be in the future.
What do you feel is the most important thing for your viewers to know about your organization?
The most important thing I think that viewers should know is that electric cars are the future. They are what America needs to create sustainable economy and sustainable energy. And the more electric cars on the road, the better our environments will be, and we'll be able to have more sustainable and global energy.
Thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you for having me.